Word.
Oh, excuse me. Okay.
All right. Well, welcome everyone to Tea. We have
Hi.
guests today. You see our guest? That is my sister, Nzinga Kadali Kemp. And we want to welcome her to tea today. Um, yeah, let's start off with what you sipping on, NZ?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say thank you for having me. I so appreciate being a part of Talking Effortlessly Always. I
Okay.
am your self-identified number one fan. Thank you very much. I don't know if that was revealed later, but I am quite a connoisseur of tea, and I am a connoisseur of tea. Right now, I'm sipping on red raspberry hibiscus, actually.
Well, that
Um,
sounds good.
yeah, it is. It's really good. It's really good for you. Um,
Okay.
so like my grandniece and my children have colds, and so we're all teed up right now. Like,
Gotcha. So do you give your children tea as well?
yeah, chamomile, ginger,
Okay.
just like things that are not too harsh, and we definitely cut them with a lot more water.
Right.
And since they've been sick, it's been a lot of honey too. So
Right. Right. Okay.
they're over one, so you can do the honey thing, but
Got you.
Okay. What you sipping on, Lo?
Well, I am just drinking some detox tea. I've been sort of eating any and everything, so I feel like I need a little detox. So I am sipping on a detox tea today.
okay.
Oh, I'm sipping on some emergency because I've been around
I was about to say, what kind of tea is
wow,
that? That is super bright.
and green tea mixed in with it.
Okay.
But yeah, a lot of people came by, so I want to just
Everybody seems like they're trying to fight off or prevent a cold or anything from happening right about now. So,
You see, that's the thing. Like, California just opened up, and so, and we just sent the kids back to daycare.
oh yeah, you better keep
Yeah,
them together.
all of that, all
sorry,
of
I'm
that.
trying to get myself together. Okay. All right. So for everyone that doesn't know, NZ, I call her NZ. She said that's her name.
Yeah, that's my name for today. Shoot, I get to be Aki, Lo, and Izzy. What's up? That's I'm here for it. I'm here for all of it. Yeah.
Oh,
So she's a filmmaker. She been making when did you make your first film?
Um, well, I started making my first film when I was about 16, 15 or 16. Because our dad, Modibo, got me a Super 8 camera that I really wanted, and it's an old school camera. So I went all around Atlanta just shooting everybody. But and I wasn't asking, like people were really nice about it. But that was the start of it, and I recruited a whole lot of my friends from high school. I went to school in Alabama, and they knew I was a weirdo, so they participated because I was like, I'm going to be a filmmaker, so you might as well help me now. And they were like, Oh yeah, I'm here for it, you know.
right.
That's
So
good.
that was probably the first one. I didn't finish the first one or the second one, but I did finish the third one.
Right. And the third one being Jamaica T. Jones.
No, actually, the third one was his Her Story. That was my actual first film
Oh.
that actually hit um like the festival circuit, and that was in I don't know like I'm not even gonna say when that hit, but it's it's available now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I sent Lo Jamaica T. Jones
Oh,
because
okay, okay,
and she watched it. I watched it again. But
okay.
I really, really liked it. First I was like, oh my God, like, what I'm about to watch. But like, what am I about to watch? It was really good. Like, I was really into it. It put me in the mind of insecure-ish kind of vibe. I loved it. I really, really enjoyed watching it. So,
I'm glad.
yeah,
And if you didn't like it, I would love to know why as well. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. No, I liked it. I definitely liked it for sure.
That's love. That's
Hmm.
and Jamaica with Jones was so fun to do. It was a fun piece, and that was one of my LA pieces. And Jamaica, the woman who played Jamaica, Janet E. Dandridge, is one of my longtime collaborators, and we're also in a band together. and we do a lot of work. Primarily, her focus is fine arts, photography, and performance art. So we pulled her in to do some acting. So it was a lot of fun.
Good. Okay, so let me ask you. So what was the premise behind the short film? Like what was the goal? Was there a goal behind it that you wanted people to get something from it, or was it just something you did for fun?
Yeah, I mean, like it was turning a lot of things that are really scary on their heads, and a lot of it came from Janet. Like she's a wild girl, you know what I'm saying? Like she's just a really eccentric person. And when I was thinking about the character, I was like, I thought a lot about her, you know what I mean? And I knew she could play the character. She wanted to get into acting. So what the takeaway was that, you know, when you look at something in a different way, you can reframe it. Like, I mean, spoiler alert. Like when I think about Jamaica Jones, the whole thing was that she goes to see this psychic that tells her she has to be nice or the end of the world is coming for her. In the way that she is being nice, like you think that she's gonna apologize to this guy who's
Right.
mean to her, and she's gonna and everything is gonna magically appear. No, she went to the place to apologize to him, and she found out that he was selling her work so she could get her money back. So it's about reframing the way in which you look at things. You know, it was an experiment in reframing. Like even with the stalker, again a spoiler alert, Jamaica has a stalker that she basically turns into her. Can I cuss? No, yeah, maybe. Y'all keep it.
Yeah, you can say a little.
She makes him her bi. So, so like in the fact that this scary man who she doesn't know follows her, and I don't know like if either of you had a stalker or anything like that. It's terrifying. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And just the fact that Jamaica in herself, it's not fear. It's just like, what are you about? Why are you following me? What are your intentions? And I
Right.
have to be in kickboxing. I don't even got to worry about this. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so I was just looking at a lot of things and just trying to flip them in different ways to see how it could work in a comedy space. Because
Right.
at the time I was relatively new to comedy. And I'm moving back towards drama and dramedy. But I comedy is fun. It's just a
Yeah.
fun place to be in. But it just doesn't always work. And the things that you think are funny, it's I guess because humor is so subjective, it's
Mm-hmm.
really interesting. It's a really interesting proposition.
Right.
Well, I wanted to talk about Jamaica T. Jones at the end because
I'm sorry, I jumped ahead.
that's okay.
Look, I did too, girl, because I was like, oh yes, okay.
But tell us a little bit about yourself and just your career.
Um. Okay, so my name is Nzinga Kadali Kemp. I am Aki's big sister. I'm a filmmaker. I have been since I was very young. I knew that I wanted to be in spaces and create images that look like me, but also diasporic images that I had seen that my mother and father made sure that were a part of my a set of things that I knew about, that the mainstream world didn't know about. And even I in myself, like, it's commonplace now, you know what I'm saying? Like it's 2021. But back in the 80s, to have dreadlocks and be relatively a vegetarian in Talladega, Alabama was unheard of. And so,
Mm.
and I came from a very supportive and loving space in Atlanta, you know, like family, people who look like me. We like went to freedom school, all of that, to going straight to Alabama. Like, and when that's, at 6 years old and trying to negotiate and navigate those kind of cultural norms at that time, it does something to you. Um, and so what I found is that I retreated in writing and books and TV and stories. And so I learned how to create those stories for myself. And also my mom was a drama teacher. So that helped too, to see her to create performances and stuff like that. So it was really inspiring. And so as far as my career goes, like, after college, I went to Clark Atlanta University.
Okay, Clark.
CAU.
Yup, CAU. I'm gonna shout out our brother and our sister-in-law, Karika and Shauna. They went to CAU too. I just
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't
shout
even know that.
out.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And then afterwards, well, let me just say at CAU, it was a wonderful experience because it was an incubator. So I got to, I guess, do things that I wouldn't have gotten to do at any other college. Like I got to mount performances and direct shows that other kids, like people weren't doing when at my age. Like you know what I mean? Like we got to do things. And the other thing is because it was Spelman and Morehouse, like once people saw that I could do stuff, like they would come from other schools and ask me to do stuff over there. So I was like directing shows at Spelman too. And so
Oh,
that was cool. Yeah. And so after that, I went to NYU for dramatic writing. That's playwriting and screenwriting. It was very expensive. New York was not my bag. I crawled out of New York. I call it adult book. But it was too much. It was too much. And so I moved to LA, somewhere else where there's sunshine and yoga classes. Um, I don't take yoga, but I do enjoy the sunshine. Um, and so since I've been here, I've just been, you know what I'm saying,
Right.
doing a little something, something, doing a little something, something, doing a little something, something, trying to maintain, doing a little something,
Right.
something.
So with you being into, well, do you prefer to be behind the camera or in front of the camera? Like what's your preference, or both?
Right now, it's behind the camera.
Mm-hmm.
Or actually, right now, it's whatever will face me. You know, like you know what I mean.
Right.
But behind the camera is usually where I find places. Like you know, yeah. If I'm in front of the camera, I'm having fun. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
Yeah, behind the camera.
Okay.
Okay. So, what are some films that have inspired you and influenced you in your career as a filmmaker?
I would say like all of them. No, a few. Let's see. It's really varied. Um, I would say School Days was the first
I knew
one.
he was gonna say. I knew he was gonna be up in that era.
Yeah, like oh my gosh, because I was living on a college campus. Like I lived on a black college campus. So I mean, and I've lived on black college campuses all my life. So it's just like that really did something to me. Kubrick's Clockwork Orange, which is a strange film based on a novel. It's but his aesthetic and it's I mean it's wild and it's something that you might not want to. You got to be in your right mind, like
Right. I've never even heard of that.
Me either.
like if you look because Stanley Kubrick is such a prolific and profound visionary filmmaker. A lot of what you see now is biting his style directly. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So a lot of the stuff that you see, a lot of television shows are using his like crazy. And it's because he was able to calculate and define what this style is for himself. It's really amazing. And Clockwork Orange, like it's a wild stuff, but the transitions are like you think you're in one place and you end up in another. It's like that kind of stuff, and it's really calculating and magical and symmetrical. Um, the Royal Tenenbaums, I love
I've
Wes.
seen that.
Wes Anderson is like one of my favorite filmmakers. He did let's see, what was Life Aquatic. Um, but the Royal Tenenbaums, I think that was the biggest one. But and Sankofa, Haile Gerima. It was in the late 80s, early no, it was in the 90s. About a woman who basically she's a model and she goes back to Africa to I think Senegal. I want to say Senegal or Ghana, and she gets sucked back into history where she's a slave on a plantation that leads a rebellion.
What's the
Uh,
name of that? I need to see that. That sounds interesting.
it's an amazing film, and my mom had to take me kicking and screaming to see that film because I was trying to go to an AKA step show that night. So it's called Sankofa. Um,
Let me write
yeah,
that.
Oh, yeah, I don't think I ever saw that.
and then it's stuff like Cooley High. Like I love Cooley High. I love the camaraderie and the brotherhood and the genuineness of it. You could tell the person who wrote it knew knew that world. That was him. That was his
Right.
truth. You know what I'm saying? And there's something to be said for that. So I mean, those are just a few. Of course, Daughters of the Dust, because it was just aesthetically beautiful. And I know these are all older films. But and then Jerry Maguire, randomly want to know why? Want to know why?
Why?
I want to know why.
Because Jerry Maguire is a perfect formula movie. It is perfectly structurally, the way it hits every single plot point on,
Mm-hmm.
you know, Moana does that too. What else were we watching? The Little Mermaid, I'm not a fan, but you know, it does that too. It hits certain points.
Right.
So,
Oh, so even like the cartoons, you pay attention to like the.
well, I mean, Disney movies are they're expert at it because they really they're not for kids, they're for us. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Parents watching. So the way that they're structured for us to understand where the stories are going. So they're movies. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know if you've seen The Incredibles. That was a perfect example.
I like The Incredibles.
I haven't
Yeah,
seen that.
girl, you gotta
And
see.
Monster Inc. is one of my favorites too.
I haven't seen that.
I saw it a long time ago. But I need to rewatch it. Gotta
I
go.
love Monster Inc.
But anyway, that's a few. That's just a few off the top. But
Cool.
So like I'm gonna skip over some of these. I don't want to make it long.
it's, don't make it long because I could talk. You know what I'm saying? You know how family do.
I would say like what is the most important lesson that you have learned that has a positive effect on your films? And how did that lesson happen? If that's kind of a difficult question, but I think it's
Yeah,
good.
that's all. Okay. Okay. So, I think the hardest lesson that I'm still learning is how to be patient with the process of making a film. It's
Mm-hmm.
really hard. It's really hard. And then on top of that, you're managing different personalities and people too. And because I'm usually an independent filmmaker, like people don't pay, they don't pay for my, I usually have to find money to do my stuff. So you have to negotiate and be on your toes and be blah 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 blah. Just be doing. Like, and so with that hustle, I'm not a hustler. You know what I'm saying? Like, but when you're a filmmaker, that's what you have to do. And it was funny because I actually talked to one of my heroes. I love her so much. I haven't talked to her in a while, but Nzinga. Her name is Nzinga Stewart. She's a director. And she's a television director. She directs a lot. She's always good. And she was the one who told me, she was like, yeah, I don't do independent stuff because I want to be able to do what I want to do. When you're independent, you have to do what you have to do. When you're you know when you're with a studio, you have more freedom to do a few more things. So I think it's more so being patient with the process and learning not to stress out if things are, when things start going off the rails. Because if you're an independent filmmaker, it's gonna go off the rails sometime. It's just gonna do that. So when it does that, just to breathe through it and bring it on back and keep it moving. Because you also have to keep actors happy. You have to keep crew happy. You have to keep, you know what I mean? So that's the main thing. And not having an ego. I see. I talk. I told you I just talk.
Wait, so
Oh,
independent filmmaker, they pay for everything out of pocket. So are you paying like your actors and everything, or are they like, you know what, I got you? Like, I got you. Don't worry about it.
Let me say, you know what, I got you. What you can do is say, hey, I have a limited budget. I'm doing something very lightweight. So if you could donate your time for a day. But I'm at a place where, you know, I try and pay people for their time, even if it's just $50. I try and pay people, and that's part of why I don't get a whole lot done because I want to pay people just,
Yeah.
because people will show up for you a little bit more if they know that you are respecting their time, even if they say they will do it for free. Like you get a lot more out of paying people.
Yeah.
Oh, you talking about? Oh, want to know? Going back to that lesson question, the first lesson I learned on my very first film is you can never shoot without feeding people. You have to feed people because
Like food, like literal.
you have to feed them. Because on my first set, my first set on location, this was in Talladega, Alabama, and I guess I must have been about 17. and I had done this whole setup. I had my 2 cameras, I had lights, I had everything, and I had all of my friends, and I had no food. And they got really impatient because they had been doing their thing all day, and they were like, "Yo, I'm hungry." I don't. And so what happens is, if people are hungry, they get really distracted.
Yeah.
Oh.
From jump, always have some food on set. Always have some food around, so people don't have an excuse to be wandering around or be
Right.
cleaning, whatever. Always have food.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's
Yeah, we like to eat.
yeah, yeah,
I wanted to say that I learned recently. You know how they say break a leg?
yeah.
And that's because they want you to be a part of a cast. I thought that was so dope. I was like, how did I not know that?
Girl,
You just taught me something. I
Y'all
know that.
didn't know that?
I didn't know that either, but like, what the world? Break a leg.
Yes, because when you break your leg, you need a cast. So they want you to break a leg so you do good so you can become a part of the cast.
I got you. Okay. I didn't know
Yeah. Okay. I learned that as of now.
that. As of now, too. Me too.
Oh, you didn't know
As of now, years old, I just found that out.
that? Yeah, I learned that off TikTok.
Oh my God. TikTok be teaching everybody everything they never knew. I promise you.
You might want to check that source, man. You might want to check that source.
Right. It sounds right, but I don't know.
It makes sense, even if
It
it's
makes
not
sense.
true, but I don't know. I was like, man, I felt so dumb. I was like, that's so
Why do you feel dumb? Nobody in the world knows that.
Yeah.
Because that's not even like,
yeah, but it just made
no.
so much sense. Just put it that way. It made so much sense. But anyway, so moving on. Let's see.
Can I ask y'all a question? I love these backgrounds. I love the tea. I love the
Thank
tea.
you. We trying to look cohesive until we can get a little bit more, you
Yeah,
know.
fabulous. I love that.
So we're trying to
Thank
get
you.
it.
We handmade them. Lo actually suggested the flowers.
The
I
flower.
got the board, and she was like, we should put some flowers around it. So
Yeah.
I enjoy that. I enjoy that. Yeah, that's nice.
thank you.
Well, I have something to say. I wanted to talk about back to the film because I watched it and I enjoyed it. And then what was like the premise behind it? Like what were you trying to get people to get from the film? And then I'm going to tell you what I got from the film.
Okay. Really, like a little bit of kindness goes a long way. That's basically the thing. Like just a little bit. I mean, and the other thing is like, what was so interesting about Jamaica is she was always kind. It's just about perception. You know what I mean? Like she was never rude. Like she cussed out the guy who fired her for no reason.
Right.
You know. But yeah, a little bit of kindness goes a long way, and it can lead you to unexpected places.
Right.
That was the thing.
That was a good lesson.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I was a little off, but I took, but everybody's perception is different. But I took the idea of like how she was working a job that she didn't even like. Right. And come to find out that her art was worth something to her, so she could actually do what she loved and actually make a living off of it. So it made her sort of like look at things differently. And I was just like, you know what? And that's a lot of people in the world. You never know that you can make money or something or do something that you love and actually make a living off of it until you actually step out and doing that. And I think that her getting fired basically made her look at it differently. And she was like, you know what? I got it. I know what I'm about to do. So I thought that was pretty cool.
That's exactly it, Lo. Like, okay. And everybody is like, even if I have an intention as a filmmaker, people are gonna get what they get from it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I have sat in audiences where they've done a reading of a play where people got something I totally did not even, and I'm like, oh, okay, right. I don't know how you got that from that, but okay, right. So, but yeah, no, that's exactly it. Like in her, because the message was very convoluted. I'm not even gonna front. And so when it boiled down to it, her kindness led her to find out that her art was being sold, that it had worth, and that she could actually do something else. It wasn't the apology to let him know that something was wrong. It was the apology to get her to that place so that she could discover what she needed to discover. And so that in itself was a bit convoluted, but Yes, that is exactly. It's a variation on the same thing. Yeah.
Right. Because when she was getting ready to go to work, I was like, I know she about to go just because her vibe and appearance. I was like, she about to go do some like art directing or something. She go to a dog thing. I was just like, that is not, girl. No, this is not for you. I was like, okay, no, this is not.
I know she had that dope fade with the design.
Yeah, I was just like, what is she working here?
You go to her $5 an hour job. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
But that's how it is. You're right. That's how people be in life.
Hey man, that's what happens. Like people wait tables. People do.
That's 90% of everybody, to be honest. Probably, I don't know if that's right, but it's probably up there. I'm sure it's a high number.
Right. I mean, especially with younger people. You know what I mean? This whole gig economy. It's a lot. It's a lot. Yeah. I'm like, for sure. Okay. Yeah.
I liked Juanita. Juanita was my favorite. Juanita the Fortunerita.
Them prices was a little crazy though, but it was all good.
You got to work it out. You got to work it out how the spirit moves you. You know what I'm saying? Juanita came to me in a spurts.
Right.
She said, I gotta read the bones for you.
Right.
That was hilarious. But I had liked how Juanita put it in perspective for her. Like it's not the end of the world for you, but what did she say?
It's more like the end of the cycle. Like, you know what I mean?
It's the end of the cycle, so you can have a new beginning to something else, and that's what she did have. Yeah, so I really like that, and I like what I took from it was she needed to change her attitude in order for her to change the outcome of her situation. So yeah, so I and she didn't think it was nothing. She did have an attitude, you know. I don't think she thought she did, but she needed to change her attitude, and it changed her life.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to touch on one more thing, and then I'm gonna wrap it up because, like you said, I don't want it to be too long. But so Zynga sent me a video of me reviewing her. Was that your first play?
That was my first real play. Yeah.
That's what I thought. Me and Korea had like an argument about it. He's like, no, that wasn't the first one. Da, da, da. I was like, no, I think that was the first one. It was at the art exchange. Da da da. But anyways, so she has a video of me reviewing her first play, and I did a poor job.
Well, no, you were 15 though. Like, you know what I mean? Like, who reviews plays at 15?
That's true. But it like I forgot about that piece of me, you know, like I left that in the past, and it was in the past.
We didn't forget her.
It was so cool to revisit that and to just reflect back on your work as an artist, you know, and just thinking like what I thought about you at that age, and how I felt like you were doing some amazing things, you know. So I say that to say, just keep doing what you're doing. Work is awesome. And I wish that I could have I want to revisit some more, because me revisiting Jamaica T. Jones, the perspective I have now is like way different from what I had when I first saw it, you know. Right. So
what do you have coming up? Are you working on anything fun going on, or what you have planned for the future?
Right. Well, right now I am right now me and my husband are working on a pilot script that we've been working on. And I'm working on a test that I've been wanting to do forever.
Oh, hold on. I can't hear you.
Oh, really?
Okay, now it's out a little bit, but it's back in.
Yeah.
Okay. So basically my husband and I are working on a pilot. So we're in the process of scripting that. And I'm working on a passion piece that'll probably be my next writing sample about the Black Power movement in the 1960s. So that's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to it. And then just, like getting back to life, because I think we were thrown off because we had our 2 kids at home for a year. And You got 2 under 3. That's a lot.
Oh, girl. And I got 1, and that's a lot. So
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Well, I'm so glad that I had you on the show. And we are so thankful that you were able to make it to the show today.
yes.
Thank you for having me. I so appreciate it. I was like,
But before we go, I
uh-huh.
have a quick question, a couple of quick questions for you, just off the top of your head. What's your favorite color?
Pink.
Favorite food?
Oh, I don't even know.
You gotta know. What's your favorite food?
Yeah, it'll be an empanada for today.
Favorite TV show?
Oh, why you got to do me like this, son? For right now, I guess it would be I don't even know. Okay, not the one I'm watching now. It'll be Queen's Gambit for right now. It's a limited series. Just for right now. Just for right now.
And do you have a hidden talent?
It's hidden. I don't know.
And give us a fun fact about yourself.
A fun fact. I ain't even got no fun facts. I am left-handed. I am left-handed, and so I got myself to LA by doing hair.
Oh, okay, hustling.
Yeah, I saved money. Like I was working 7 days a week, and I was doing hair and doing educational consulting, and that's how I got it.
She has came a long way with her hair doing.
Stop it! You just leave me alone, okay? I was one of my first set of individuals, and she was real nice when she walked out of the door, and the next day I saw her, and she didn't have no individual braids.
Oh, she didn't want to hurt your feelings.
But she came back like those struggle braids, but now her braids is A1.
They were, because I learned how to do it. I learned how to, yeah, but I didn't do these. I definitely did not do these. I was very happy with my lady though.
And one fun fact about you that you didn't mention is you had dreads for how many years?
23. I had dreads.
3 years, and you got them at the age. What age did you get your dreads at? 2.
Wow.
So she had dreads before dreads
was dreads.
Yeah.
Bob Marley, man. It was just me and him. It was just me and him.
Cool. All right.
Yeah. That's a real fun fact that a lot of people might not know. Nobody ever had dreads that long. Well, maybe it was, but not a lot of people. Put it that way.
It wasn't a lot. It wasn't a lot at all. Because Modibo, he always say he's the second dread in Atlanta. Sambo and then him. I was like, I don't know how you could quantify that. Like, if you just knew all the people with dreadlocks, he was like, yeah, it was just one guy. So my dad was the second dread in Atlanta. Apparently.
He was wearing dreads before dreads was a thing, for real. Now it's everybody has dreads, man. It's
fake dreads, real dreads, every dread. So you never know.
You had your dreads for a second.
I had some dreads, but I didn't like them on me. I didn't like them.
Okay.
And my hair is so fine, they was like pulling the dreads because it was extra hair holding on to my hair, you know. So. Yeah. Okay. Well, I like that, Lo. When you came up with that?
I mean, it was a little something I was, we need to start asking our guests, so
I'm glad you did first, even though I didn't have my rapid fire answers, though.
That's how it's supposed to be. Supposed to catch you off guard a little bit. So, but it's all good.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate it. I appreciate you on my toes. Next time.
Got you.
Yeah, we want to have you back on the show because, and I want to say also, go watch Jamaica T. Jones.
Yes, it's
on
good.
Amazon Prime. It only costs $1.99. I really like that it was short because it was kind of short and to the point. So
right.
Yeah. And I think my favorite character, of course, was Juanita, but I think the main character was good as well. So
yeah, she was. She really did a good job for sure. So.
I will let Janet know. I will let Janet know that T got a vote of confidence from T.
Yes.
And Well, I see. I just be going on and on, but the underwear thing really had me crack laughing because who
Yeah.
got the underwear?
It was so funny.
Pay her rent, right? What, she didn't pay her rent? Late?
She
Yeah.
took these pictures in his drawers, in her drawers actually. He had on her drawers. And
He
see,
had on- what? You
That's
don't go through somebody's clothes and get a woman's drawers at that.
I mean, it was so funny because the costume designer, Radhika, was like, okay, so I'm downtown, so you want them to be fuzzy or furry? I mean, for real, like, how do you do sheepskin? I don't, what is it?
Sheepskin at that. I'm like, sheepskin.
I don't know. I just made it up. Yeah.
Wow. You should have made them more fuzzy, like ridiculous looking, maybe.
Well, see, the thing about it is those little shorts were probably very uncomfortable on our because Cecil, Stephen Buchanan, who played Luciano, who wore the underwear, he was very patient with those underwear because I know that they were uncomfortable and itchy. I was like, okay, I know.
Yeah, they look
No, I mean, we're yeah, no, we're good.
But that was funny. That was funny. I was like, who does that?
For the funny.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, you have anything for us before we go?
No, I just really enjoyed being on here and thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for coming. Again, go watch Jamaica T. Jones on Amazon Prime. It costs $1.99. And you can watch it on your phone because I watched it on my phone.
Right, me too.
If you're out and about and you ain't got nothing to do, to get your hair done or something, it's a good thing to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you.
All right, thank you. Love y'all.
Thank you. Bye, y'all. Till next time.
All right, thank you for having me.